welcome into the MVFC First and Goal podcast, the NFL draft fast approaching. And I'm excited because I have not only one, but two Valley football standouts turned NFL draft prospects in South Dakota State's Jake Wieneke and Western Illinois' Brett Taylor. And they're friends now, too.
Jake's the man.
That dude, Brett.
The thing that's the burning question for me is the fact, you guys were opponents for the past 5 years in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, but now you not only share an agent in Chris Turnage, you spent the last several months training together in Dallas and as roommates. So how has your relationship evolved? And Brett, let's start with you.
Oh, man, it's crazy. I knew about Jake, the past 4 years. He's always dominating everyone on the field. But then I show up, and he's the best dude ever. He's a great guy. He does extra push-ups with me at night. Sometimes I take him to go get dessert at night, which isn't the best on our bodies, but sometimes we just need a little extra ice cream here and there. But the past 2 months were great, and I'm blessed to just been able to meet Jake and live with him the past 2 months.
Yeah, it's been so much fun just getting to know Brett. We've had a lot of fun together. Like he said, he forced me to go get ice cream, forced me to do push-ups with him. I always try to make me do extra. This dude does push-ups nonstop, all day, just doing push-ups. He said, "Hey, Jake, you want to play some cards?" So I'm thinking we're going to play a card game. And then what he means is do push-ups with the card. So every number on the card, then you do push-ups. So that's his idea of playing cards. That's his idea of having fun, is working out. So that just sums up Brett right there.
Oh, nice. So Jake, are you ripped yet?
Yeah, I got a lot stronger, I think, in my time living with Brett. So his program worked. I got 13 on the bench at my pro day, so he helped out.
Good for you. Your projections for both of you for the NFL draft, they're different, obviously. What are you hearing from your agent, Chris, and NFL folks right now? And how are you managing just the uncertainty of the next week? Because you can't control anything really that's going to happen.
I think I'm just trying to just enjoy every second of it. I'm back home, working out, spending time with my family. I don't know exactly. Chris said he's going to get back to me closer to the draft and tell me kind of where I'm going to go. So, right now I'm not really too worried about that. Just trying to just enjoy this time is before, our lives totally change. So, just trying to enjoy every second and be ready for what's to come.
I'm the same way. I'm just thankful to be in this position, to hopefully elevate to the next level and play football. So just like Jake said, enjoy every moment. And, I'm just not taking it for granted. I'm just blessed to be in this position.
Well, those are some good attitudes to have about it. What was the process like for finding an agent for both of you? And why did you each decide on the United Athlete Sports Agency?
Well, I was talking to some agents during the season, and then right after the season, I just sat down, talked to all of them with my parents, and just trying to feel what was the best fit, just to go to the next level, the connections they have with like the NFL teams and stuff like that. But the main focus is just to feel who I feel most comfortable with, who I can tell my personal problems with as long as my football problems. So I just felt most comfortable with Chris, and the fact that I heard he was going to sign Jake too, that's what had me in,
Definitely. So yeah, I was meeting with a bunch of different agents over the summer, and when I met with Chris and Bo, before they had Rob at the time, I just had so much peace with them, and I just I just love these guys. I definitely want to sign with them. And then also, it's kind of a crazy story because Rob, the third agent, I was friends with him because when my teammates had set me up with him, so I was already looking at him as well. And then they teamed up, and it was just a God thing how it all worked out, and it just kind of made it easy. A cool little story. So the day after the season, or the week after the season, they came over and I signed with them, and we played cards, hung out, watched a movie, and then they spent the night at my house. We actually spent the night on the living room and just hung out. So that's just the type of people they are. Like they're down to earth. They'll do whatever for us. Like Rob, he stayed like the first week in a new house with us when we were training. So they'll do whatever for us, and I'm really glad that I chose them, and I think Brett's the same way.
Well, that's great. What advice would you guys have for would-be seniors that are going to be essentially in your position a year from now, just about the process of finding an agent?
I would just tell them not even think about an agent right now. You still have a whole season left of football, and you just need to cherish that time with your teammates, and just try to play each game like it's your last game. You never know when the game can be taken away from you. And then after the season, if they're lucky enough to be in that position, then you can start just breaking down the certain things you want to see in an agent.
Definitely, I would say similar. I just say just enjoy the process, but also just find someone like we said that you can just feel comfortable with, just getting to know them and just know that they got your best interest in mind. I mean, you can tell a lot of dudes might just kind of be a business, but to get someone that's really looking out for your best interest and someone that you could just see yourself hanging out with, see yourself spending time with.
And I might add too that Rob and Chris were the easiest of the agents I've been dealing with for interviews. They've been the easiest to work with. So props to them for that, because it's not always easy with some of them. So you guys chose some good ones. You know, what's been the biggest realization for each of you just in preparing for the NFL draft over these last 4 months? And Jake, let's start with you.
I think just realizing that if you're really thinking about like, oh, where am I going to end up? What does my future hold? I think it kind of just it can take a toll on you. But I think for me, just I've had so many people here supporting me. I've had Brett to live with for the last 3 months, and just so many friends and family praying for me. Just try to enjoy every second, because like Brett said, I mean, not everybody gets to do this, and we're blessed to be able to have this opportunity. So really, to make the most of it, you can't just be worrying about what's going to happen. You just got to embrace every second and embrace the training, embrace the time with your roommates, embrace this time before our whole world changes.
I agree 100%. You know, just take each day, one day at a time. You know, don't worry about what's going to be in the future. You can only control what you control. You know, and at the end of the day, all you got to do is have one of the 32 teams like you. So I like the odds in that, and you find the right fit. And like Jake said, you just enjoy every day, who you're living with, who your support system is, you know, and your family's going to be there no matter what. Your good friends are going to be there no matter what at the end of the day. So just, yeah, that's about it.
How do you feel like the Missouri Valley Football Conference, you know, and playing at the FCS level, as opposed to like if you were at a Power 5 school, you know, at the FBS level, how did that get you ready for the rigors of playing in the NFL? And Brett, let's start with you on this one.
I mean, each week's a battle, you know. If you don't bring your A game, you're going to lose. Like Jake, for example, you know, I got lucky to beat him sophomore year, but the last 2 years they put a thumping on us. But you're playing BCS caliber players every single year. We might have not had the size, went to the biggest schools out of high school, but we got the time to develop, and the Missouri Valley develops great players. Like, look at Carson Wentz, you know, probably would have been the MVP this year, and his team won the Super Bowl. But each week, you know, is just a straight battle. And I think it's the best conference in FCS, and I think a lot of other people would agree with me there, and we can play with anyone.
Definitely. I think anybody you ask that played in the Missouri Valley would say that. I think we believe it's the best conference in the FCS. And I mean, we all play against FBS schools, typically our first game of the season or sometime in the season. So I mean, we're used to playing those big schools, and I mean, I feel like any team in the Missouri Valley can compete with any of those. Every week is going to be a great game. So I think it prepares us for this level, because we've already played a lot of great athletes.
Well, I would agree with that, since I cover the conference. And Brett, I would also say, and I told Coach Elliott this because I talked to him a couple weeks ago for a podcast, that I think you guys kind of got screwed in your matchup, you know, in the playoffs this year, because Weber State and your guys' team was not a first round matchup.
It's all good though. They were a great team, and we were just lucky enough to be in the playoffs, so can't take that for granted.
Jake, you have more than 5,000 career receiving yards, you know, and close to 50 touchdowns. Brett, you have close to 500 career tackles. You both have set a ton of Missouri Valley and school records. Why do you feel like some people out there nationally are sleeping on you guys? I
just want to say, from my perspective, you know, I'm probably not the fastest dude in the world, but I can get the job done on the field. So I think that's a lot has to do with just the straight line 40 speed. You know, scouts want to see a better number, and NFL teams want to see a better number. But at the end of the day, tried my hardest, you know. I mean, I wish I was faster too, but I can make up for it with other things. But
I don't know exactly why. For me and Brett, I mean, I feel like we're good football players. Obviously, you see that with Brett, just what he is. He's a football player, and whether they want to see a 40, whatever they want to say, he's from a small school, whatever. I mean, look at his production. Look at him on the field. I mean, he's everywhere. I played against him, so I mean, I know that firsthand. But I mean, he's a football player, so I mean, I have no doubt that he's gonna have a shot, and he's gonna make the best of it. Because I mean, he's the type of guy you want on your team, just with his work ethic, his leadership, just who he is as a man in the locker room. I mean, that's the type of player you want. So I mean, I have no worries about Brett and where he's going to end up. I know he's going to do great things. So I mean, we can worry about what they think, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's not going to do nothing. So we're just trying to focus on controlling what we can control, like he said, and they can say what they want, but there's 32 teams and one's bound to like us.
Very true. Brett, I've heard you say that you consider yourself an effort guy. And Jake, you're obviously a guy of really strong faith, and humble. But what do you feel like, kind of going back to the last question, what do you feel like the numbers, the 40 times, the drills, what do they not tell about both of you guys and who you are, not only as football players, but as people?
Jake, first and foremost, one of the most unique guys I've ever met in my life. He sends me a Bible verse every single morning to this day. So he's done that the past 3 months, and then that's just incredible. But he shows up early every single day. He's the first one at the gym when we were training in Texas. He show up 30 minutes early. He's feeling his body right. Like I said, I'd have to convince him to eat some bad food every now and then, but we'd burn it off right after that. So do some push-ups or anything like that. But I mean, if people want to say Jake's not fast, look at the film. He's out running everybody in the film. He's going up and grabbing jump balls on everybody. Look at the TCU game, the Kansas game, against the big school. So I don't know what they don't see in Jake. Jake's a first rounder to me.
Agreed. And in the film you're talking about, double covered some of those times too.
We couldn't stop him. We tried the past 4 years, couldn't do a thing. We played him in the snow, the ice, sunny weather, nothing worked.
Jake, what's your response?
I mean, I can just speak for Brett. That doesn't show anything about just who he is, just from his heart standpoint. I mean, I got to know him over the past 3 months, and I know for a fact that's a player I want on my team. And if I would never have met him, I wouldn't know that. I might think, oh, I see what he's done on the field. Okay, I want him. But then once you get to know him, once you see his heart, how hard he works, everything that he does to prepare for the game, then you're like, okay, that's the guy I want. He's going to change the culture of my team. He's going to be there every day. He's going to be the first one there. He's going to be doing extra. He's going to know what he's doing. We can count on him. He's reliable. He's accountable. And that's someone I want on my team. And also, I mean, a lot of the combine stuff or 40 bench press and stuff, it's not really necessarily football. And I mean, you see the film. It speaks for itself for Brett. I mean, he's a football player.
Well, my conversation with Brett Taylor and Jake Wieneke continues in just a second. But if you're enjoying this edition of the MVFC First and Goal podcast, check out all the Lineup Media Group offerings, sports and non-sports podcasts. Now back to the show. Where do you feel like your biggest improvements have come for each of you since December?
For me, just mentally, played in a lot of defenses. I played in 4 defenses in college. But just learning overall NFL, like the verbiage and stuff like that. Been working with my linebacker coach back home. Worked with Kevin Smith down in Texas. Just board talk. So the mental aspect of the game, and then just how to prepare like a pro. You can't just keep working out hard 24/7. You got to take care of your body too. So the recovery side is definitely a big part as well as the mental.
Definitely, I agree. I think it's a lot of the same stuff as him. I think something mentally helped me a lot. Just going to the East-West game. I learned the NFL offense over there and just kind of learned that in a week, putting it together, kind of gave me a lot of hope and kind of know what to expect at the next level. It was actually pretty similar to my college offense, so that was pretty reassuring to just know that. But I think, just the mental part, just kind of understanding, talking to a lot of different receivers, different coaches, different people in the league, just getting some advice and just techniques and different things to help with my game.
Jake, you guys at South Dakota State, your offense, don't you have wrinkles that the Kansas City Chiefs, don't you take some of your wrinkles from their offense?
We do. We take a lot from a lot of different offenses. There's stuff we do from the Chiefs, Redskins. I mean, there's a lot of different offenses that we try to imply. We took some stuff from the Falcons. They were so good a couple years ago. So, I mean, there's a lot of different things that we try to imply. And, I mean, there's actually we learned the Seahawks offense at the East-West game. And there's some plays that we had at SDSU where it's like literally the same exact play call and everybody's doing the same thing. So, I mean, it's very, very similar to the NFL, at least the Seahawks offense.
And Brett, to follow up on a point you made, I mean, I think you had 4 different defensive coordinators the last 4 years. To still put up the numbers you did while learning, especially when you switched from the 4-3 to the 3-4, I mean, how are you able to make that transition each year so effectively to different coaches? Because obviously the terminology is different at times.
I had 4 great, outstanding coaches, so that helps a lot, and the first year, my redshirt year when I redshirted, I happened to be under that defense for 2 years, so I helped to learn a lot right there. And then each person that you come in contact with in life and football, you can learn very important things about each and every person. So you kind of, it's just like one big puzzle piece, you know, you find people right here, like information to someone right here, and then fill it in with another thing. And then by senior year, you got 4 great minds that you've all learned things from. And then I have outstanding teammates, you know, we always do just talks with and talk over the defense, tons of film together. And I just think my outstanding coaches and teammates, they just help the process so much.
Speaking of coaches, you know, you both played for 2 very high character coaches in John Stiegelmeier at South Dakota State and Charlie Fisher at Western Illinois. And I know, Brett, you also played for Bob Nielsen before he went to South Dakota. You know, and I say specifically about Coach Stig and Coach Fish, I mean, those 2 guys, you know, those are 2 kind of the 2 gentlemen of the league. I mean, the whole league's great. And Charlie's obviously now at Arizona State, which is my alma mater. But how did those 2 coaches shape you on and off the field?
I know for me, Coach Stig, I mean, he had a tremendous impact on my life. Throughout my first time I stepped on campus, in my freshman year, we do something during fall camp called Stig Pop, where it's like Stig, he'll just talk to us. They actually used to give him pops back in the day, but they realized that's not really probably good for us during fall camp. So they cut out the pop, but it's still called Stig Pop. We'll just get water. But he just comes in and he talks to us. He has a madman, you'll make a difference. And in that, he has a bunch of different inspirational quotes, Bible verses, a bunch of different things where he'll talk to us about life. And he's a mentor. Some people be like, man, I can't believe Coach Stig is still coaching and stuff. I'm like, well, he's the best mentor. He's the best life coach that anybody could ask for. And every year he gets 100 men on his team that he gets to pour into and just mentor and guide and shape. And hopefully by the time we leave, if we buy in, we'll be changed. We'll be better men, and we can impact this world. And I mean, something that I love about him too is he's outspoken about his faith. He never forced it on anybody, but if you want to go down that path, you have someone there to mentor you and help you in that and point you in the right directions. It's really cool too. I got to go to the Campbell Trophy Award in December, and I got to spend a lot of time with him. Got to have like even some drives with him one-on-one to Sioux Falls and some flights to Minneapolis. Then we actually joined up with my parents and we spent the whole weekend with just Stig and my parents. And it was like he's always like been a father figure for me. But once I actually got the time to spend that one-on-one time with him, like I really knew like this is really like he is my father. And just that having those conversations, just the mentor that he is, just the man he is. I mean, he's the same man that you see after the game in the post-game interview. I mean, he's just a great man, high character man who just loves people. So I'm just so thankful to have played under him and got to know him.
That's awesome. Brett, what about you?
Coach Fisher, you know, he brings the juice every single day. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m. or 10 p.m. Every single day he's bringing. And I remember the first off season there. He showed up at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and he just has a cutoff on in the weight room. He's hitting the weights, he's hitting the curls, and he beat all of us in there, and he's just working out. And you know, he's not as young as he used to be back in his playing day, but he still gets after it every single day, and he holds you accountable for everything. If you do a great job, he's gonna commend you for it. But if you do bad, he's gonna let you know that as well. You know, and he really believes in the little details. You know, you'll be 2 inches outside the hash, and he's gonna rip you for it. But it's just all about the little details in life and everything. But he's a great coach. I'm so thankful to have played for him and everything. I wish him the best at Arizona State. I know he's going to do great. He's jacked up because they got much better weather for golf, so he'll enjoy the golf game out there. But he's a great guy. I'm like I said, I'm blessed to be able to even play for him.
That's awesome. Well, and he's a huge San Francisco Giants fan, and they spring train out there. I was because I'm from Arizona. I'm actually from Tempe, where ASU is, and I was an athlete at ASU, and so I'm actually gonna when I go out there this summer to see my family, I'm supposed to look him up and go, and he's gonna show me they have built a new facility at Arizona State just for football, so he's gonna give me a tour of everything.
What sport did you play in college?
I did track and cross country.
Ooh, very nice. What my fiance did.
Oh, no kidding? At Western?
Yeah.
I did the long, crazy distance stuff. So everybody thinks that I'm a volleyball player or a basketball player in college because I'm 6 feet tall, so I'm really tall.
Oh, wow.
You guys are both, you're very active in your respective communities, especially with kids, which is really neat. And so, would each of you share some of your favorite ways, you've given back and why serving is such a part of your DNA?
Definitely. I know for me, it was cool too having Coach Stig. He gives us so many opportunities to serve in the community, to get involved, to do various different things, sports camps, whatever it may be. So I was able to get plugged in right away without even really trying to, without taking initiative my freshman year. And then, I mean, once that happened, I started getting to know kids in the community, started getting to know, I'm also a physical education, or I was a physical education major, got my degree in that. So I got to teach in a lot of different schools, got to know a lot of families and people. So that was awesome. Got involved in different churches and different things. And so it's just so cool just to get to know the community, get to know families, get to know kids, and also see them at the games and different things. So it was pretty special in my time there, just getting to know and just feel the love of the community.
For me, it started off with my mom. My mom's a third grade teacher, and being from Macomb, it's just awesome to go in there and just read to the kids. And then for one of my classes, I had to work at a after school program every single day. So I alternated school. So I did with little kids like K through fourth, and then junior high kids as well. But just playing games with them, amazing experience. They never want to do homework after school, but playing games with them was amazing. Or just read how much the kid, like a little kid, just appreciates you reading a book to them. That's just super special. And then one of my internships was at the rec center one summer, and you got to do tons of activities. There was a Youth for Christ movement, which those kids were great. And then there's also a dog show. I love people too, but dogs I think are amazing. So just helping out with the dog show and everything like that was just a great experience.
And Jake, you went on a bunch of mission trips too, I believe.
I got to go to, I went to Jamaica like 4 times since I've been in college. I went to Kenya. I went to Pine Ridge Indian Reservation over in South Dakota. Been on a bunch of different mission trips, so it's been pretty cool to get involved. Some of them were working with kids, some were working with families, adults, different things. But I learned a lot and just got to see a lot in my time doing mission trips as well.
I have heard that Jake recently joined the likes of Twitter and Instagram. And Jake, I do want to know what inspired this, but what recommendations do you have for Jake on navigating social media?
Ooh. Well, when we were living down in Texas, he asked a question every single day. What's it mean when someone follows me? Or just stuff like that. But just recommendations. Sometimes he posts like 3 photos in every single day. I think it's kind of rule of thumb that you only post 1 photo a day. But Jake has a lot of photos and he just wants to share them. But I think he's doing great so far. I'm just happy he's in the social media world. Even though he might struggle to navigate it sometimes.
No comment.
Well, what inspired you to join all of a sudden?
My agent.
That's what I figured, but I wasn't sure. It's not often you get to play on the same team with someone as athletically gifted as Dallas Goedert, let alone be in the same offense. So what did you learn from him?
I mean, it's just first of all, it's so much fun I had my locker right next to him since our freshman year. So just the friendship that we had, the relationship we had was just so fun just to watch him to grow with him. And then obviously to see his success and his leadership on the field and just all that he's done for the community, all he's done for Brookings, all he's done for SDSU. It's just been tremendous. And obviously it was just fun to play with him, to watch him play every day at practice, making crazy plays, in the games, obviously making crazy plays. I mean, it's just such a blessing to first of all, just get to know him as a person, but then also just to see what he's been able to accomplish.
Brett, you had to, you didn't necessarily directly face him, but, you obviously saw him play, and, your teammates had to cover him. So your thoughts on Dallas?
Dallas is a freak, and I don't know him on a personal level, but just hearing what Jake says about him, and I trust Jake's opinion. He's a great dude, and I think he's going to have an outstanding career in the NFL. And once again, I'm just happy I don't have to play him. Well, I want to play him again in the future, but I'm just happy he won't be destroying Western anymore. He always had very good games against us.
Brett, you talked about earlier in this interview, you are engaged now, and that you have a wedding coming up, I believe you said this summer. So how have you been balancing all the draft preps stuff with planning a wedding? And I'm assuming your fiance is hopefully taking care of a lot of the wedding planning part.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we kind of changed wedding plans. We're just gonna do a destination wedding now, and we almost canceled the whole entire ceremony and everything. Like, we're not even having a reception or anything. It's just gonna be like her parents and my parents, brothers and sisters, and she lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so I'm gonna fly down there on a weekend and just get married right on top of a mountain. And that's about it.
The last question I want to ask you guys is just what's the best advice you've been given through this whole process, and who gave it to you?
Control what you can control, I've heard that from several people, my agents say that all the time. My coach at Western, my high school coach, at the end of the day, people are going to like you or they're either not going to like you, but just always be yourself. And if you're always yourself and you're trying your hardest, that's all you can ever ask for.
I think for me, one of my friends really texted me a lot of different times while I was training, at even times when I was really like down, like, man, like I don't know if I can do this, and would text me. Seemed like I was right at the right time. I feel like God was just telling me that I've been preparing for this my whole life. Everything I've done, whether it's on or off the field, everything that I've done has led up to this point. I've always been able to make it through. So I mean, we're ready for this. We've been preparing for this our whole life, even when we didn't know it.
Anything else each of you would want, NFL executives, scouts, front office people out there to know as we, really get down to the nitty gritty last few days before the draft next week?
I think something they need to know about Brett Taylor is just how hard he works, and everything that he does is for the team. And I mean, he's the type of player that you want. He's the type of man that you want in the locker room. He's the type of teammate that you want. He can have fun with you. He can mess around with you. But when it comes time to it, he's going to hold you accountable. He's going to make you better every day in practice. He's not going to take it easy on you coming across from you. He's going to work as hard as he can, and he's going to make the team better. And he's going to be a great player for the team. And anybody that takes him is going to be so blessed. I mean, I don't have enough. I mean, I can't say enough. I mean, it's just he's who you want.
Whatever team gets Jake Wieneke, they're just getting an outstanding individual. The dude might win MVP, but he's also going to win the Walter Payton Award, for just man of the year. And dude, he's just, I don't even know how to describe him, just other than amazing. Whatever team's going to get him, someone's just going to impact the person in the community, the surrounding area. I mean, he's a role model for so many people. He's a role model to me, inspired to live my life like Jake does. And he's going to get the hardest worker. He's going to be the first dude to show up. He's going to beg the quarterback to get extra pass routes in, after practice every single day. And whatever team gets them, they're just getting a leader, they're getting a great competitor, and they're just getting a great overall human being that will improve the team.
Well, I like the bromance that's going on right now. I can feel the love, guys, between you two.
I love you, Brett.
Love you too, Jake.
And, I wish you guys the best of luck this coming week. As somebody that's seen both of you play many times over the last 4 years, I hope you get the best opportunity out there for each of you. It's well-deserved, everything that's coming your way. And you're no doubt going to make the Valley proud and your respective schools proud. So it's been fun to watch you, and I look forward to seeing what you both do in the future.
Hey, thank you so much, Kelly. Really appreciate it.
If you like what you heard from Jake Wieneke and Brett Taylor and our MVFC First and Goal podcast, please take a minute to share, subscribe, and leave a review. LineUpMedia.fm also is home to many other sports podcasts, shows like Bleacher Bums, Two Birds on a Bat, and The Drop. You can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher.